She's never swayed one day in 6 years of taking care of me. And I know a lot of times it has not been easy for her.
Don't feel guilty about walking out of that hospital room. Let someone else sit because you need to take a breather.
Doctors in hospitals deal with sick people. You don't deal with the people who are taking care of them, and sometimes we end up sick too, in a different way.
I never cried once the entire time he was in the hospital, ever. I've cried a whole lot since he's come home.
Caregivers are so important, but it can be a very stressful job, and they often neglect and forget to take care of themselves, and they focus so much on the patient. But the problem is, of course, that if they get sick, then both they and the patient are in trouble. So it's really important that the caregiver take the time to care for themselves.
Self-care is so important for the caregiver to keep in mind, because they are the thing that's keeping the operation running sometimes. When the person is really ill, they may be the primary source of contact with the outside world for that person. They may be managing their finances, they may be assisting with medical care. So if that caregiver is overly exhausted or not taking care of themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally, that person may really falter in their role, and then the person who's sick is left with in a worse situation.
And I tried a lot of things early on to bond. I don't know if the word quite explains it. Bond with Paula, to have that empathy, to give her the feeling that I was empathizing with her. I would sit and do nothing but read with her. I, ate the food that she ate. I put on 40 pounds. And I realized that I was depressed. There was no me in this relationship. I wasn't providing for her what she needed. All of a sudden, this psychological, spiritual shift that if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to have a heart attack in a couple of years. And then it's going to be all over. She's going to be on her own.
Don't forget to go to your own doctor's visits and maintain your own health. Because again, if you get sick, then the patient and you are both in trouble.
Caregivers' own physical needs are oftentimes overlooked in terms of taking care of themselves, getting themselves to the doctor. They will often overlook that in the day-to-day demands of caregiving.
My regular doctor, who we've been going to for 23 years, he looked at me one time when I came in and he goes, "I expected to see you about a month ago for your health." And I'm like, well, I kind of put myself on the back shelf.
I was in St. Joe's for 38 days because of fungal meningitis, and I was pretty lost, but yet I had big anxiety problems because I had to get through that so I could continue to be caregiver.
Diet is very important for patients with advanced liver disease, and I would say the caregiver should also be watching their diet so that they're really getting high quality, nutritious food as much as possible, so that they really have a good kind of energy and they can be sustained over the course.
The patient may have certain dietary restrictions, and so it may be that the caregiver actually has to cook separately for themselves.
In my experience, all roads lead to exercise. I really believe that exercise is one of the best ways for caregivers to really reset, refresh. They get health benefits for themselves. They can shake off some of the emotional demands. There are a lot of decisions involved in caregiving. It can be a great time to problem solve and come back into the role in their best way.
My regimen starts at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting up and taking care of myself and working out. She doesn't get up till 6 or 7 in the morning, so I have that all accomplished and done. So I'm not there when she's asleep, so I am there when she is up.
Research has shown that caregivers are often more than twice as likely to experience depression, anxiety.
Stress management can be difficult for caregivers, and how to manage it depends on the person. Some people will actually do relaxation and meditation. Other people, it works best just to take a break and get outside. And then some people can actually suffer depression as a result of their caregiver role. And that's not something they should be embarrassed about. They should seek counseling and talk to people and get help for that.
The counselor that I went to helped me because I was having a hard time dealing with the fact that he might die. And that was the hard thing that I was having a problem with, was I'm gonna lose my partner. This is somebody I thought I was gonna grow old with. And he wasn't gonna be there because he wouldn't quit drinking. And no matter what I did, that was something he had to decide to do. I couldn't make him do it. I couldn't holler at him. I couldn't cry, beg. It didn't matter. That was something that he had to decide for himself.
I don't think you want to like voice it to your loved one, okay? But I think it's good not to bottle it up inside if there's somebody that you can kind of vent to.
This is what you're going to have to do, is find something, if it's no more than in your own home. Make it a room by yourself. Close the door. Sit behind that door, take the biggest towel you can take in there with you, and just bawl if that'll make you feel better. Cry forever if it'll make you feel better. When you walk out of that door, smile.
Yep.
Caregivers are also often more isolated. They may give up on their community and social engagement because they just feel so worn out.
I was exhausted. I felt very alone and I was very angry. I didn't feel that I had anybody whom I could speak to about what I was going through. My husband was my best friend, so everything I went through I shared with him. But there was days when I was really mad at him and resentful. We had just gotten married and then he fell ill. And I just felt like, you just married me so you'd have somebody to take care of you. And that was something very real that I dealt with. And I don't feel that way now, but sometimes when I was going through that, it was hard. So when I found the support group that I'm working with, it helped a lot because I was able to be angry there. I was able to talk. I was able to say, why is he behaving this way? Why is he acting this way? I can't pay my bills. What can I do? How can I get some help? I got the validation that I needed through that support. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know what the next day is going to bring. You know, when you're working and I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna take a 20-minute break, and you sit down and then getting back up to finish the job is like, I don't think I can do this. I knew if I stopped, I might not get back up.
Caregivers too often will say, well, they need me and I'm going to just push all that other stuff off till later. But the thing with a chronic illness is that this is going to be going on for a while. And so to take care of yourself during the course of the disease is really critical and maybe the most important thing you do in the primary caregiver role.
Being a caregiver can be all-consuming and very stressful. And so it's very important to take time for oneself. We call that respite.
When he gets a little obnoxious and he gets a little cranky, I get in the car, go visit one of my sisters, or go visit my daughter, or go visit my son and his wife. It's sometimes as a caregiver, you have to walk away. Don't stand there and argue with them. It'll only frustrate you, and it'll frustrate them.
Sometimes during the course of a day, caregivers need to really reset. They need to step away from a challenging interaction or a challenging moment. So going for a little walk or engaging in your hobbies, these are legitimate and important things to provide the kind of sustenance that a caregiver needs over the course of disease.
Sometimes we'll say, look, you need to just call another family member and say, you come and stay with the patient and I'm going to go off for a day and go out to eat or go to the spa or spend time with friends, go get some exercise. Doing that every once in a while is very important.
I just have to find some downtime. I usually take Saturday or Sunday, and that's my day. And the husband can't go, the kids can't go, and I either go get my nails done or go shopping or go meet up with a girlfriend and have lunch. But those are things just trying to get my life back into some kind of an order.